I never heard of him.
Who?
The man you recommended.
The man is a myth, a legend. And if he's still living, he's the one you want.
Hello, welcome to Cynic Critique, where we get real with cult films. I'm your host Brian, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, my bro-host, Thomas.
Hello.
This week, we're in the heat of Mexico as we discuss the Mexico Trilogy from Robert Rodriguez, starting with his 1992's El Mariachi, and then to his 1995's Desperado, and lastly, his 2003's Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Right, starting with Robert Rodriguez's writing and directing debut, El Mariachi from 1992, on a budget of $7,000 and grossing $2,040,920.
What's in the case?
My guitar.
Don't tell me you're a mariachi, cabrón.
I am.
And starring Carlos Gallardo as El Mariachi, Consuelo Gomez as Domino, Peter Marcord as Mauricio, Joaquim de Hoyos as Bickerton, Reynald Martinez as Azul, Ramiro Gomez as Cantinero, and the synopsis from IMDb reads: a traveling mariachi is mistaken for a murderous criminal and must hide from a gang bent on killing him. You got much to say about this one?
I mean, for $7,000, I think it's a pretty great action flick with some good comedy.
Yeah.
I'll say now, I'm sorry if we've messed up any of the names.
I probably have.
But for $7,000, that's a pretty low budget.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's low budget. I'll be honest, like, it's not really fooling anyone, but it's the enjoyment of the action and the comedy that I think pull it through. The Case of Mistaken Identity I find to be a great piece, because obviously they're after a man with a black case.
Yeah.
The El Mariachi's going around with his guitar case, so they think it's the convict.
Yeah.
It adds a good layer.
Yeah.
I think you said this before we were recording, but Rodriguez estimated that if he didn't have to pay for film processing and telescene costs, it would have probably only cost about $600,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is even more remarkable.
Yeah. I think the more remarkable thing was how he funded the film itself, doing drug trials,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
which he did a film about. Is it Red 11?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's one of his more recent ones,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
in the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, and that's why he wrote this whole film as well,
Yeah.
while he was doing that, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, he also did a lot on this because he wasn't just the director and writer, he was the cameraman, the special effects guy, and a producer.
Yeah.
So he was doing it all. The only thing he didn't really do was act.
Yeah.
And for some of the tracking shots, apparently it's just somebody pushing him in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And to make it look like he was using different angles, he'd sometimes just stop filming and just move as
Move
well.
and start him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're watching the film, there are quite a few change of angles for the action scenes.
Yeah.
So it must have been quite a painstaking task.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised he didn't do music on this, because I know he does on some other films, but there were like 5 names:
Oh, right. Okay.
Eric Guthrie, Chris Knudsen, Matt Trujillo,
Right.
Cecilia Rodriguez, and Alvaro Rodriguez. Alvaro Rodriguez is a writer on Dusk Till Dawn 3, the Dusk Till Dawn TV series, and Machete.
Okay. I can't speak for From Dusk Till Dawn 3. That's a franchise I'd love to watch more than just the first entry in the TV
Yeah,
adaptation.
Robert Rodriguez also did the story
Yeah.
on that as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I do want to watch that
Because
one.
the TV show, I think, is a great adaptation.
Yeah.
It spans the first season anyway, is the first movie.
Yeah.
So that's worth a watch, actually, if you've not seen it. If you can find it now. It was on Netflix, but I believe it's been taken off.
Has it?
I think so. I'm not 100%, but I know Netflix had a bit of a culling.
Right.
But Robert Rodriguez also claims that there aren't really any other actors, they're just innocent passers-by, and he gave them lines if they were needed.
Did you see that hotel owner and the bartender are both local?
Yeah, they are.
casters?
Yeah,
And he got them a part in the film
yeah,
because they were bad-mouthing it.
yeah. He's also gone on to say that he made this movie to practice.
Yeah.
So for the fact that it went on to gross as much as it did is pretty impressive as well, I think. And it's a real good run, because this is the same year as Tarantino's debut with Reservoir Dogs, but Tarantino, unlike Rodriguez had proved himself in the writing department.
Yeah.
He'd already had scripts sold in hopes to become a filmmaker. So the studio already knew to trust him with the money, where here Rodriguez has had to like pay out of his own pocket essentially to get this made.
Well, yeah. Drug trials.
Yeah.
I saw a thing about it. The version you see in cinemas and other places, it's had like approximately $1 million spent on it and post-production work. So I don't know, but that's also promotion as well.
Yeah. I would guess maybe to do a better sound cut.
Maybe it didn't really say what had actually been done.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, but cast-wise, he's credited as Mauricio, but they only ever call him Mocco.
Yeah.
And that character's credited as Mocco when he reappears.
Right.
I thought that was worth mentioning.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I don't know why that is, why he's credited as Mauricio, but they call him Mocco in the film. I don't know if it's a translational thing or not. I couldn't find anything of it in the trivia.
No. Yeah, I agree. It's a really well-made film for the budget it's on.
It's also pretty, like, for the budget it's on as well, it's a pretty big stunt, the bit with the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Because he zip lines down, doesn't he, and gets stuck on the front of a bus.
Yeah.
When I say he, I mean El Mariachi, Carlos Gallardo's character.
Yeah.
I say Gallardo, it could be Gallardo.
I'm not sure.
But as I was saying as well about the mistaken identity thing, it's pretty good because Mocco's having a conversation with Azul and he says that about killing 6 of them, I think it is. And Mocco says 10, but Azul's clearly mistaken El Mariachi for Azul in this scene, which I thought was pretty good. He's credited all them killings to him.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole situation with the mistaken identity and this El Mariachi guitar player just trying to find a guitar job while having to fend off these assassins that are basically sent after him, all mobsters.
Yeah.
It's quite a delight. It's only a short film. I think it's 80 minutes.
Yeah, 80 minutes.
Yeah.
1 hour 21.
I say only. I mean, it's pretty impressive for what he's done with the budget, I think.
Yeah. That's about, 1,000 every 10 minutes?
Especially when I don't think all the cast are, like, particularly experienced actors.
No.
Do you want to move to Desperado, or is there anything more you'd like to say about this one?
I just want to say, yeah, 92, but if you didn't know what year it was, you could probably think you're watching an older film and not really notice. If you know what I mean, like, it feels like it could be like a 70s film or something.
Yeah, I think he was trying to make, like, a Mexican B-movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like an action movie?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's kind of achieved that.
Yeah.
Because it weren't intended, I don't think, to go as big as it was, if I remember right. It was something about, it was supposed to just go to VHS or something.
Yeah.
I've just seen that the actor who plays Azul, which is Reynald Martinez, he was apparently studying to be a doctor at the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, though, in 2001, this film was included among America's Film Institute's list of 400 movies nominated for the top 100 most heart-pounding American movies, which I find a bit weird considering it's Mexican.
Yeah.
Just like there was the anal detail about what helicopter they were using in the last week's episode for, was it Laser Mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, in case anybody wants to know, the drum machine pattern, the keyboard mariachi and the guitar plays over is the March rhythm preset from a Yamaha PSS 480 portable electronic keyboard. A totally different instrument from the one seen on screen.
And you think the people that were interested in the helicopter are interested in this?
I'm not saying there's an overlap with those viewers or listeners. It's just one of them silly pieces of details that is only is maybe like 1% of the viewers of the film. And maybe no viewer of the film was like, wonder where that was preset found on a keyboard.
You're about keyboards, just move on.
Something I did forget to mention that I've just jogged my memory while on here. He was warning people that he was filming, but his signs were wrote in English so no one would understand what it meant.
Yeah.
Just a cutting cost, I guess.
Oh yeah, he filmed it at real jail.
Oh, for the opening scene, yeah.
The guard and warden were actually the guard and warden.
Yeah. Shall we move on to Desperado?
Yeah.
Okay. Robert Rodriguez's sequel, El Mariachi.
I was visiting a bar, and in he walked.
You saw his face?
His face? No. I mean, every step he took towards the light, just when you thought his face was about to be revealed, it wasn't. It was as if the lights dimmed, just for him.
Written and directed by Robert Rodriguez again, with a budget of $7 million and grossing $25,405,445, is Desperado. This time the El Mariachi has been recast with Antonio Banderas. Salma Hayek plays Coralina. Joaquim de Almeida plays Bucco. Cheech Marin plays Short Bartender. People will recognise him from a few Rodriguez flicks, I think. Steve Buscemi plays Buscemi. His name's not said, he's just credited as that. Carlos Gomez plays Right Hand. Tarantino is Pickup Guy. Tito Lariva, I can't read my writing on that.
Lariva.
It is Lariva.
Yeah.
Tito Lariva as Tavo. Angel Aviles as Zamira. Danny Trejo as Navajes. Abraham Verduzco as Nino. And the synopsis, as IMDb has it, former musician and gunslinger El Mariachi arrives at a small Mexican border town after being away for a long time. His past quickly catches up with him as he soon gets entangled with the local drug kingpin Bucco and his gang.
I thought this was a vast improvement.
Definitely.
Budget helps, I guess.
And it does also stand on its own.
Yeah. I'm going to say, when I first watched this, I thought it was the first.
Yeah, of just a duology.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This and Once Upon a Time in Mexico, then you got a box set, and I was like, oh, I didn't know there was another one. Yeah.
What I do like about this, though, is the opening from Buscemi's character, where he's telling the story of the biggest Mexican you've ever seen.
Yeah.
His face was in shadow, and every time he thought he was about to step into the light, shadow would hit him again. It really builds this mythology up of this character, but we're seeing it as he's telling, and it's just Antonio Banderas. I thought that was a great introduction to the film.
Yeah.
As he's telling this bartender the story of this El Mariachi who's coming to town.
Yeah.
I also particularly like the fact that Carlos Gallardo was back. He's not the El Mariachi, obviously, as he was in the first film, but he's Camper. He's actually on stage next to Banderas in the scene where Banderas and two fellow musicians are playing in a bar.
Yeah.
And then he does actually return for a good action scene towards the end, along with, I think that might have been Tito Rivera as Tavo,
It could be.
the other mariachi guy with him at the beginning.
Albert Michael Jr. played the other one.
Oh, right, okay, I ain't got him written down, sadly, then. Tarantino's one of my favourite scenes in this film. I've remembered it for a long time, but I've always thought it was a Tarantino film and not been able to place which one. And it's not a Tarantino film, it's this film. But Tarantino tells this amazing joke. I think it's a niche joke, or I'm not telling it right, because I've told that a few people and they don't seem to find it funny. I guess it's a good bench test for finding out if it's a friend-worthy person you're talking to, though. That if they like the joke and they get it, it's like, oh, great. It's first up with my friend.
You mentioned Tito Rivera.
Yeah.
He's from the band Tito and Tarantula.
Okay.
They're the band in Dusk Till Dawn, and I think he has some other small parts.
Right.
And a few other Rodriguez stuff. His song features in the bar fight.
Right.
Strange Face of Love.
Speaking from Dusk Till Dawn, because this precedes it, doesn't it?
Yeah, just by a year.
Yeah, well, we get the crotch gun from Dusk Till Dawn seen in El Mariachi's case when Selma Hayek opens it.
Yeah.
So you can see Sex Machine's little gun in there.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you supposed to do with this? Which cracks me up. And then we see the gun with the two barrels on the either side.
Yeah. Not the only thing to carry over into From Dusk Till Dawn, though, is it?
No, Selma Hayek is.
Selma Hayek,
Danny
Trejo, Cheech Marin,
Yeah.
even Tarantino.
Yeah. This was the film that started Danny Trejo's cameos and small parts in all of Rodriguez's films, though.
Yeah. And on this, they learned they were second cousins.
Yeah, second cousins. I've known they were related for a while, but I didn't know to what extent. I thought just cousins, but it's second cousins.
Yeah.
I don't understand what a second cousin is, I'll be honest. They also refilm an important part from the end of El Mariachi for this.
Yeah.
So it is Antonio Banderas in that scene now, so it
Yeah.
makes a little more sense. Although I don't think I really needed to.
You think they could have left that scene out, or
Just left it as it was, and everyone was like, wow, Antonio Banderas really loves his friend from his birthday that he's going for revenge on his behalf. But no, they reshot that, and they managed to get the actors that played Domino and Mauricio Mocco from El Mariachi as well.
Yeah.
To reshoot that scene, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, and Banderas directed a scene in this.
Oh, right, okay, I didn't know we had the chops for directing.
It was the second bar shootout. Banderas directed it because I don't know why Rodriguez didn't seem to have the time for it, but Banderas directed it because Rodriguez doesn't really use second unit.
Maybe Banderas just wanted to pad out his resume of what he can do.
Maybe.
I think it's the second bar fight that there's the recreation of the bar from El Mariachi. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because the bar from El Mariachi, they use again in Desperado.
Yeah. Did you see Rodriguez's second choice if he couldn't get Antonio Banderas?
Oh, no.
It was John Leguizamo.
Oh, that'd have been good.
You say it'd been good, but I imagine it'd been a completely different film.
Yeah.
Because him and Banderas, I just think, are quite different.
Yeah. Speaking of Banderas on this as well, he played all the guitar work himself.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
That might as well link to music, can it? Los Lobos, a band, they do all the music on this, like all that sort of thing. They did it for Rodriguez's other film, Spy Kids, and I don't think they worked with him again, which I thought was weird.
This is the note I was thinking of, actually. Tarantino wasn't originally cast in the movie. He's playing a character that was just based on him.
Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi was originally cast as that role.
I'm not sure about that, because I thought Buscemi was written for his character.
Well, I'm guessing it was because Tarantino took the role that he would have had.
Right, and then the Buscemi was written for
Buscemi.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what I'm guessing.
All right. Did you have the cinematographer for this?
No, I didn't actually.
Because
I'd never gotten for any of these.
I thought it had been Rodriguez, like it was on the other two.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's Guillermo Navarro.
Okay.
He works with Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
He does Kronos, Devil's Backbone, Pan's Labyrinth,
Right.
and the 2 Hellboy movies. But he also worked on From Dusk Till Dawn, and he did Jackie Brown.
Oh, I love Jackie.
And then he also did a film that keeps popping up, or this name seems to keep popping up on our podcast, which was the movie Spawn.
Okay.
Spawn just seems to pop up every so often, whether it be the movie or the animated series. Somehow, I feel we always come to Spawn.
Somehow it spawns itself.
Yeah. I just thought, might as well mention him. A lot of them films, I think, have great cinematography.
Right. Something I find quite interesting about this film, and this trilogy, to be honest, is how forgotten it seems to be now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time when like a lot of people had seen them and discussed them, and then it just seems to have faded away into obscurity, I think.
Yeah, they were on TV a lot, I think.
And it's a bloody great trilogy as a whole.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, a lot of people go on about like how great Antonio Banderas is and how sexy and watchable he is and stuff, don't they? Especially women.
And you.
And yeah, and me apparently. And the men are the same with Selma Hayek. They're like, oh, she's sexy, this, that, and the other. And then there's this film here that stars them both.
Yeah.
And it just seems to have disappeared.
Yeah.
I find that really bizarre. It's a bloody great film.
Yeah. That's what put Rodriguez on the map, really. Well, From Dusk Till Dawn, I think, is the main one that did it. But I'd say that's been a year early. I think it really solidified it. And it did do well enough, so I'm guessing it really put him on the map. It is a great one.
This is my favourite out of the 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a tighter plot than 3.
Yeah.
And I think it's obviously it's going to be better produced than El Mariachi.
Yeah. I do think Banderas is the better El Mariachi.
He's just got charisma, hasn't he?
Yeah, the other guy just seemed like... Then again, it worked for that film because he just seemed like a regular guy.
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
to be a musician.
Yeah. And then Antonio Banderas is like this mythologicalized version of.
Yeah, because how it's told, the bar scene at the beginning, like you said, it feels like it.
It's such a great piece. And how that bar just keeps moving in and out of frame.
Yeah.
Or is that the third one?
Oh, it's the third one.
Right. That's a great bit.
Yeah, it's a similar opening. No, Rodriguez is a great director. I always enjoy his films.
Yeah. I've not really seen a bad film from him, I'll be honest.
I haven't seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but apparently it's not very well liked.
Got a sequel though, didn't it?
It's a loose sequel though, isn't it?
I don't know. I've not seen either.
I don't know.
But I saw it marketed as a sequel. Anything more you want to add to this?
Unfortunately, I think I've said all I can say about it.
The thing is, the action scenes are great, and to say any more, you're spoiling what the film can deliver,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because the plot's pretty bare bones, really.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'd say there's a twist at the end, but it's not so much a twist as just a
Reveal.
that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think the next one really tries to do a plot.
I think it tries too hard to do a plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Can do.
Okay.
I don't feel I have to say it's Robert Rodriguez as a writing and directing again, do I?
What you just did.
Yeah. With Once Upon a Time in Mexico from 2003.
He's being paid to kill the president. So why me? Well, frankly, because you've got nothing to live for.
And starring Antonio Banderas once again as El Mariachi. Salma Hayek returns as Carolina. Johnny Depp as Sands. Willem Dafoe as Barillo. Mickey Rourke as Billy. Eva Mendes as... I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Hyadres.
Is it Hyadres?
I think so, yeah.
I'm really not sure. I do not know how to pronounce Danny Trejo's name in this either. Is it Kuki?
Kuki, I think they said.
Kuki.
I think that's how they said it. I was supposed to write phonetically how they said it when it was said in the film.
Enrique Iglesias as Lorenzo.
What an addition.
Marco Leonardi as Video. Cheech Marin's back as Bellini. And Ruben Blades as George of the FBI. I've made note of that because that's something else. Oh, budget is what I'm missing. This one was 29 million.
Oof. Just on the cast, I guess.
Yeah, and it grossed 98,769,390.
So it did make bank.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
quite a bit. I think Johnny Depp made it though.
I mean his
for an
character.
audience.
Yeah, but his character seems to have a lot more screen time.
Oh yeah. Anyway, the synopsis from IMDb is Hitman El Mariachi becomes involved in international espionage involving a psychotic CIA agent and a corrupt Mexican general. Yeah, this got bigger.
Yeah.
Cast as well.
Yeah.
Like you said, there seems to be less focus on El Mariachi.
Yeah.
And I do think that Sands' character gets a lot of focus.
Yeah.
He's the most memorable part of this film for a lot of people.
Yeah. He has a certain character trait that I don't want to get into because it's really funny and it'll spoil it when it happens. And it was also while watching this one that I read on the trivia, I don't think I'd have ever noticed, there's a little boy that wears a yellow t-shirt in all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Eva Mendes' character gets a big part. Like, she gets quite a setup and then she's almost forgotten.
Yeah, and
So then she, yeah.
and then gone again.
Yeah.
I think Willem Dafoe's great. He's
And-
great in everything.
And I read that this only had a script of 45 pages when it started filming.
Yeah.
I kind of think it feels that way.
Yeah.
In the fact that he didn't have much written down and he was trying to pad it out with bits. Because the plot kind of feels a little all over the place to me. It don't feel as focused.
No,
It feels quite messy.
I know what you mean.
One problem I did have with this, because I don't think it explains it anywhere,
Right.
it's with Johnny Depp's character. Well, it's not. It's with Johnny Depp as a character in this,
Okay.
but not Sans.
Yeah.
He had 8 days to film all his scenes for this film,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive with the amount of screen time he has.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, he then decides he's going to play the priest for that scene.
Yeah.
I thought initially watching it, we were supposed to know it was Sans and there was something to come out of this, but no, he's apparently playing a priest, a
Yeah.
completely different character.
Yeah.
And just so you know he's a different character, he uses his Marlon Brando impression.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was supposed to just be doing a Marlon Brando impression while pretending to be a priest to get information from El Mariachi while El Mariachi is in the confessional booth.
Yeah.
That scene I don't think is required.
No.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Also, Sans was originally for George Clooney, but he couldn't film.
Yeah.
I can't imagine George Clooney playing this the same at all.
No, but when you look up a lot of stuff that Depp did, he added a lot of personality to it.
Yeah, apparently all his lines have been brought.
Yeah.
Or many of, anyway.
And I think if George Clooney had done it, it'd have been a straighter character.
Yeah. Also, it was Johnny Depp's idea to wear all apparent tacky T-shirts that his character wears, and he had his sister buy some from Florida.
Yeah, because he has one that actually says FBI on it or something.
I think, yeah. Yeah. Also, I knew this weren't going to be as good when you see El Mariachi's jacket,
Oh.
and he now has a brown scorpion on it. A very dark brown scorpion, almost black, but it's brown. And the previous jacket that he wore in Desperado was black on black, and it looked much nicer than this brown. That's the note I made. First I made. Brown scorpion, sad face.
Yeah. I even drew a
I did, yes.
He was very sad. I mentioned Ruben Blades when I went through the cast, and he plays FBI agent George.
Yes, why? I don't know who that is.
The character in the film, he mentions that his partner, Arculator, right? Sorry if I said Arculator, sorry. He mentions that his old partner died, and that was his old partner's name. Ruben Blades in Predator 2 is Arculator.
Ah, okay. The Robert Rodriguez likes the Predator films because he did the best Predator sequel after 2, Predators.
Yeah. He produced it anyway. I don't know if he has writing credit.
Oh, that's what he did. I'm not sure.
I know he don't direct.
Because he was originally going to be making it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just associate that as his film.
I kind of do sometimes, and then I get upset.
What, that it wasn't his film or that you remembered it wrong?
Bit of both.
I also particularly like Mickey Rourke's character in this. He goes around with a little dog
Yeah.
and he carries it. His dog's called Mocko, if you look at
Right.
the dog tag,
All right.
which is a character from the previous film.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I don't remember it getting explained anywhere in there.
No.
And surprising, because I had to look this up because I remembered with Enrique Iglesias being added to the cast of this.
Yeah.
I remembered Enrique Iglesias' music video, which was apparently 2001, but I thought it was after this film,
All right.
or the same time as this film. So
Right.
it was an earlier song than I realised. But Mickey Rourke plays the villain in the music video to Hero with Enrique Iglesias.
All right.
So it's not their first time they've been in something together
No.
as hero and bad guy.
All right.
I quite like that. Also, Willem Dafoe in this, I'm pretty certain he's supposed to be Mexican.
I believe so.
He's got a bit of tanning, his hair is jet black, and he's got this little black mustache, and he looks like he's trying to do the father from Addams Family. I can't remember his name now.
Gomez.
Yes, it looks like he's trying to be Gomez Addams.
His character is Birillo, so
Yeah.
it does allude to
Exactly.
being Mexican, I guess.
There's also a scene where he's trying to get a lookalike
Oh, yeah.
to replace, and a guy comes in and he looks, I wouldn't say identical, but he looks enough like, especially around the mouth features, I think.
Yeah.
And apparently that was an assistant from set
All right.
who just naturally looked that much like him, having no CGI work or prosthetics done on him,
Right.
which I found quite interesting.
Maybe that little plot line was added.
Well, I mean, it's not long after that, Willem Dafoe then just spends the rest of the time with bandages,
Yeah.
like he's trying to be Gary Oldman from Silence of the Lambs. Not Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal.
Yeah.
No. Yes. No.
Yes.
Is it Hannibal? Oh, damn it.
It's Hannibal.
Yes. Like he's going around, he's Gary Oldman from Hannibal.
All right. You mentioned Mickey Rourke's dog. Do you think it's similar to his bird from Iron Man 2?
Yeah, I reckon he was there. It's like, Mickey Rourke, you're playing a villain. He's like, I want a dog.
Yeah. Which I imagine Mickey Rourke suggesting that he have that dog, and Rodriguez is actually just thinking, that's quite funny. Yeah, get it in. I don't think Mickey Rourke was in this enough.
He wasn't really, was he?
I remember thinking, oh wow, Mickey Rourke's in this. I don't remember him in this. And there's no reason, I guess.
There's a really good scene, and I don't think it's him in it. I think it's Danny Trejo. The bullfighting scene.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good scene.
Yeah.
I like that scene. There's also a good part in this with a stunt, because it's a callback to the scene with the bus from El Mariachi. Antonio Banderas again as the El Mariachi, though, but he does a very similar stunt with the bus.
Yeah.
And Selma Hayek does a bit of work in this, or a stunt double does anyway, because there's a great intro scene where he gets introduced this time as this mythological guy.
Yeah.
But she's with him now.
Yeah. And she's as lethal as he is.
She's as lethal as he is beautiful, yeah. That's the line. Because he's introduced by Cheech Marin in this one to Johnny Depp's character.
Yeah, it's a great bit.
It's a fantastic bit. But this feels more like Johnny Depp became the star. When the amount of work he does in this for just 8 days of shooting is a lot.
Yeah.
It had me feel like they could have shot this film in 3 weeks. I don't know how long they shot it in, but it really wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know.
The other thing I like about this is the real guns the filmmakers wanted to use were delayed at Mexican borders for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to do 2 weeks with rubber prop guns. And Antonio Banderas was so thrown off by using these silent prop guns, he was mouthing BAM noises when he was firing his shots.
Yeah.
Which I would love to see behind the scenes footage of.
Yeah. Which I think now, if it was this one or the previous one where they were spraying the blood out and like, they were more like water pistol, I think that was on the last one.
Oh, that must be some high power.
Apparently it looked more real or something.
Yeah.
So they edited it.
Yeah.
Something weird like that.
Well, yeah, I bet it was the last one, because I've just read now, nearly all blood, bullets, explosions, and physical damage were added in post-production.
Yeah, on this one he estimated, what was it? Something like $400 or something he estimated on post-production effects, and they ended up being in the thousands.
Whew.
And he was lucky because they had a lot of time, because I think this film was actually finished in 2001.
Oh, right, so it was quite a...
Yeah, so it could have been like 6 years after, but it ended up being 8.
And I did say that George Clooney was originally intended for the role of Sands, which eventually went to Johnny Depp, but other actors considered Kurt Russell, Bruce Willis, Sean Penn, and Nicolas Cage.
I think Nicolas Cage would have been a great one.
I mean, I'd like to see Sean Penn.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't feel I've seen many Sean Penn films, but I just think of him in, is it Ridgemont High, where he's that surfer dude?
Oh, yeah.
And he's such a great character in that, and I'd love to see him do something a little more quirky like that.
Yeah.
He's quite a funny guy. I've listened to him in interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wouldn't have been the same as Johnny Depp.
No.
But I still can't imagine it with George Clooney in that role.
Like I said, I imagine he was a more serious character, and I think Johnny Depp just wanted to add a bit more to it.
Something I did say while we were watching these, I just want to bring it up, just 'cause I think it'd be quite interesting if it was to be done. But obviously, Antonio Banderas was Zorro from the last Zorro films.
Yeah.
I would love it if Zorro was this, like Antonio Banderas' Zorro was this guy's ancestor. I just think there'd be something great about that. And I don't think it's truly out the realms, because Tarantino wrote the Zorro Django crossover comic.
Yeah.
So you could definitely, I think there's room for it.
Yeah.
It's not needed. It still works on its own, but I just think it'd be just like a touch of funny detail to the franchise.
Maybe. And yeah, it's this one where Rodriguez actually does the music.
Right, okay.
But I know he does a lot of music as well.
Yeah.
I think he has his own band. I think I'm probably wrong about that anyway.
He can definitely play instruments. Or is that too vague?
I don't know.
But no, I feel this film spends a lot of time with Johnny Depp and not enough with the other characters.
Yeah. And you need more time with them other characters because the plot's bigger. And I don't really feel he actually carries the plot.
Yeah and no.
I think what you need from him for the plot you get, and then they just do extra stuff, and I just kind of think it's not as...
The way this cuts between all the characters and stuff, it almost feels like it should have been a TV series, if that makes sense, with the amount of time they're each getting and so on. And I don't know if you said that Rodriguez was the cinematographer on this one again.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to try out these new digital cameras after being introduced by George Lucas.
Yeah. And he tested them and was quite pleased at the high temperatures they could work at. And
yeah.
Well, I was just about to say, when Tarantino came up with the title for this and suggested Rodriguez do a trilogy.
Right.
And apparently Tarantino kind of used that sort of title for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. For not a trilogy.
Yeah. And I think the whole Once Upon a Time in Mexico is why it's got that larger cast. as well, because it has that more
Yeah.
story style, many characters
Yeah.
going through, and I think that adds to that.
And it builds, I guess, off what Desperado set with that mythological thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because again, we get it here.
Unfortunately for me, I just feel like you need another one with Antonio Banderas.
My biggest problem with this one is, and I can't particularly say it for spoilers, but there's events that have happened between Desperado and this
Yeah.
that are very important to this one's
Narrative.
initial.
Yeah.
It basically works as the driving force for El Mariachi
Yeah.
in this one.
Yeah.
And because it's happened between films, it's a little less interesting, I think.
Yeah.
You get kind of a flashback.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, it doesn't work.
No.
That's another downfall with this film. Not only is it feeling like it's doing too much with all these other characters, there's an important piece of story that's already happened.
Yeah.
And we don't quite learn that till a little further in.
Yeah.
It's just a niggle for me.
I know what you mean.
That, for me, is why I rate this one the least of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah. Desperado is a top-tier movie.
Yeah.
There's not many action films on that caliber, but it's like a pure 90s piece of cinema as well, I think.
Yeah.
El Mariachi, I can't help but not love it with the amount of effort that Rodriguez has had to put in with that film on such a budget and to try and do something. Because he was, 23?
Yeah, 23.
And so it's just quite a lot of effort, I think, for a 23-year-old to go do on such a small budget,
Yeah.
first feature, get so far with that as well.
Yeah.
And then Desperado, it's like, wow, he really knows how to work his way with the industry, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you get this, and it just feels a bit contrived.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Forgot to mention there's only 2 stuntmen on Desperado.
Wow. Antonio Banderas and who?
I'm right in the sense that I can't think who it was who worked on it, and he was just like, I could have been the other stuntman, not about the other stuntman. I've never killed someone so many times on a movie. It was just I killed him with long hair, short hair, a mustache, a beard, blonde hair, dark hair.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a solid trilogy. I think it's maybe one of the better trilogies.
Oh, yeah.
Because it hasn't decided, we need to come back and,
Yeah.
you
Like
know.
I said, I'd love another one just because I feel Antonio Banderas actually needs the trilogy of being El Mariachi.
That I could get behind as well, I'll be honest. But I feel the same about his Zorro as well.
Yeah. But that second one was awful.
I remember it being awful. I can't think when I last watched it.
It was awful. No, this is a solid trilogy, and like you say, I kind of don't want them to return to it because otherwise you end up with something that'll...
It just seems so forgotten about now.
Yeah.
When people talk about trilogies and like favourite films. And
Well, Robert Rodriguez himself, not many people talk about him.
no. And he's made some great films, I think.
We made Sin City and Sin City
Yeah.
2.
Dust Till Dawn,
Yeah, from Dust Till Dawn.
Desperado, El Mariachi,
Elite Battle Angel.
possibly Predators.
He produced it.
Then he made it. If I produced something to you, I've made it, right?
I guess he put money in it, so he helped fund
Yeah.
it, and I think he...
Probably gave a lot of notes.
Yeah.
He's one of them. He's always busy with something, isn't he?
Yeah. Whether it be a Spy Kids or a Sharp Boy and
Yeah.
some weird thing.
Yeah.
He got a project.
Those films are really outliers, I think, when you look through his filmography.
We say that, but actually we worked out that it was actually the faculty that's the outlier, because it's like, this isn't really written by him.
Oh, yeah.
It seems so out there. Doesn't seem like his
It's
style.
not kind of wacky enough, but it's still wacky, but not enough.
Yeah. Like, that one really feels like his studio film.
Josh Hartnett's in that movie.
Yeah.
It's from Kevin Williams, isn't it?
Yeah.
He wrote it.
Kevin Williamson.
Kevin Williamson, sorry. Yeah.
Solid trilogy.
Yes.
Rodriguez, I think, is one of my favourite films.
Oh, for sure.
So.
For sure.
Well, I don't think he's put anything truly bad out. I haven't seen Sharp Boy and Lab or all the Spy Kids movies, but I don't really want to say they're like bad films or anything. They're like aimed at kids, for kids just to watch for fun. You know, it's not how it is out there. Like, these films he makes for people and film fans to enjoy.
Yeah.
They're just for kids to enjoy, aren't they? So I don't feel I can judge them on the same thing.
No. Before we sign off, I just want to add that Once Upon a Time in Mexico has a character called Left Nut.
Yeah.
I haven't wrote who plays him.
Right.
But I thought that was funny. And is that all? Yeah. And also Tito La Riva plays a cab driver in this one.
Right.
He was in Desperado as Tavo.
Something like that.
Yeah. And now he's a cab driver.
Yeah. Rodriguez just recycling people. It's a weird world.
I think I'm going to have to go through Cheech Marin's filmography and Danny Trejo's filmography and see how many characters have actually played for Rodriguez, because Cheech Marin's played, 3 in just From Dust Till Dawn?
I think he's the friend in Machete.
Is it not Machete?
Yeah, all right. Because I think he's also in the original trailer they did for the Grindhouse.
Yeah. The Machete trailer.
Yeah.
We could do a Grindhouse episode, because they've made 3 films now.
Yeah.
Machete, well, then Machete 2 as well. Yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun, I think, is my favourite.
It's great.
Although Thanksgiving was really good.
It was all right.
But I think Hobo with a Shotgun just has a uniqueness to it.
I think the other ones feel more grindhouse as well. Doing
What, Hobo with a Shotgun and Machete? Yeah, Thanksgiving's a little clean and studio feeling.
Yeah. God knows what Eli Roth's doing.
Borderlands.
Yeah.
No, he's working on
Thanksgiving too.
Yes, which should be next year, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you want to sign us out?
Yeah, sure. So that's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us this week. And if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. A glowing review would also be appreciated. We are Cynic_critique on X and Instagram. Links to those and more can be found in the show's description. And remember to join us again next week as we transmit from space to discuss 1997's Event Horizon, 2009's Pandora, and 2017's Life.
Ooh, lie.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.